Here's my video response to the video that you sent me containing parts of your act that you wanted me to critique. So let's get right into it. This started out with a devil stick, and it seems pretty obvious to me that what you're trying to do is spin the devil stick around, you know, by kind of poking at it with the hand sticks. And it doesn't look very easy to do because, you know, the thing is swinging around, and if you poke at the wrong time, you know, you'll mess up. And so one thing that I would like to suggest right off the top is that you drill a hole in the devil stick, and then you can insert one of the hand sticks into the hole, and then with the other hand stick you can spin it around, and that would be a lot easier than doing what you were doing. Next you had a cane act, and that was a little confusing because, I mean, it doesn't look like you need a cane. Most people who use canes, they use canes because they can't walk or they have trouble walking, so they use it to support themselves. And the way you do that is, you know, you're holding the cane in your hand and it goes down to the ground so you can put weight on it. And instead what you did is you had the cane in your hand and it was going up, you know, it wasn't supported on anything, it was just up in the air. And I don't see how that can, you know, help you, you know, maintain your balance or anything like that. Even worse, there was a time when you were standing on one leg and you had the cane on top of your other foot, which, you know, wasn't even on the ground, and, you know, went up into the air, and so, you know, I don't really see how that would help, you know, your balance. It seems like it would make it worse, that, you know, it's even harder to do than you know, just walking. So I wonder whether you really need a cane or not. Although it occurs to me, you know, maybe this is some sort of a scam that you have, you know, it's you representing that you have a disability and you need a cane, and, you know, for credibility or something like that. And if that's true, you know, that's okay. You know, your secret is safe with me here on YouTube. I won't tell anyone, you know, I'm sure no one will find out. But, you know, I don't know whether you really need the cane or not. In any case, you're not using the cane correctly. Let's see, then you had a Diabolo. And I noticed several times in your video, the Diabolo would kind of get away from you because, you know, it isn't connected to the string. So when you pull the string taut, the thing would go flying up in the air. I don't know how you didn't lose it, but anyway, I have a suggestion about that, and that is that you can cut the string off of the hand sticks and you tie one end to the Diabolo and tie the other end to your finger, and you know, then you can, you know, make it spin around and so forth, but you know, it won't ever get away from you. And you could maybe even make the Diabolo a little smaller, like, you know, like the shape of a hamburger, or a little smaller, you know, with a notch in the middle where the string could wind up. Then it would be very compact. You know, I bet that would be popular, actually. A lot of people would probably like that. You could keep it in your pocket, and you know, probably be better than the Diabolo, in as much as you couldn't lose it like you can now, and, you know, it won't get away from you anymore if it's, you know, tied to your finger. And you had a part with hats, and that was maybe the most puzzling of all, because, I mean, you know, if you want to wear a hat or not, you know, either way. I mean, some people, they look good when they wear hats, and other people, they look good when they don't wear a hat, and, you know, some people look good under both conditions. But it seemed like you really couldn't decide whether you wanted to wear a hat or not, so you kept taking it off and putting it on and taking it off, and, you know, sometimes it would roll or something, as, you know, you couldn't just take it off. It was more complicated for some reason. But it seemed like you have some kind of a indecision problem trying to figure out whether you want to wear a hat or not wear a hat. And at worst, I mean, there was a time when you couldn't decide which of several almost identical hats it was that you wanted to wear, and, you know, you kept switching the hats. And so what I'd suggest here is you find a mirror, you look in the mirror, look at yourself, and you decide, you know, whether you look better with a hat or without. And then, you know, whatever you decide, just go with that. Just, you know, wear a hat or don't wear a hat, and don't, you know, put it on and take it off all the time, because that kind of seems a little bit weird. Although maybe this is part of the scam. You know, this is the mental component of, you know, you have, like, you want to represent that, you know, you you have some psychological problems or something, and you can't decide whether you want to wear a hat or not, and so you can get additional benefits in that way. You know, that might be the case, and I'll give you that. Let's see, then you had a unicycle. It was quite impressive that you didn't fall when you were riding it. It's hard to imagine how you could ride it, given that there's only one wheel and no handles. So, you know, there's nothing keeping you from falling forward or backward or left or right. I mean, it was clear that the unicycle represents an impediment, because the things you could do on the unicycle were not as complicated as the things that you were doing when you stood on the stage. So it's clearly interfering with your abilities. Now, I realized, you know, you might need to have a vehicle to get around the stage, you know, for the same reason as you need a cane. But an obvious thing suggests itself, and that is that you have a vehicle custom made for you that has two wheels in a line with a seat in the middle and maybe handles. Or better, if there were three wheels, one in front and two side by side in the back, that vehicle wouldn't fall forward to backwards, and it wouldn't fall left to right either. And so you wouldn't have to worry about, you know, staying up on it like you do with the unicycle, and you could probably do your other tricks better if you were on such a vehicle as opposed to the unicycle which you used. And then finally, let's see, there was the bola, and sort of like the unicycle, when you were standing on it, I mean, you weren't really standing on it. It was kind of like going all over the place, and it's obviously very difficult to remain, you know, steady on it. And once again, the things that you did on the bola were not nearly as complicated or difficult as the things that you did when you were standing on the stage. And so it's obvious that the bola is interfering with your success. And now, so then I have to wonder why you were on a bola, and I guess the reason is that you need to be taller for some reason, like to see in the back of the audience or something like that. And to that end, an easy thing to do would be to just turn the cylinder upright so that the flat face is on the stage and the board is on the other flat face, and it wouldn't be nearly so squirrely. But, you know, actually step stools are pretty cheap, and you could just buy one of those, and if you stand on it, you know, they're made to be stood on. It'd be very sturdy, and it wouldn't be so, you know, wiggly, and then you could look back or whatever it is that you need to do. And so that would probably help you as well. Now, of all the things that I saw, there's sort of one unifying theme, and that is that what you did was not juggling. And I suggest, you know, if you really want to elevate your level to the next level, that you learn to juggle. And so you get, you know, balls or clubs or rings or something like that, and, you know, you learn to toss them and catch them, and you know, there's all these different tricks you can do, and you know, if you have any difficulty learning how to juggle, there's excellent resources on you know, how to do it. One of the best ones on the web is a YouTube channel, Yome. You can just post a video to him, and he'll critique it, and you know, he's an excellent juggler and will tell you what you're doing wrong, and he gives great advice, and I very much recommend him, you know, as long as, you know, and I think, you know, you have to juggle, which you didn't do on the tape you sent me. But if you want to juggle, you know, he can really help. And so I think that would really elevate your skill to the next level. Oh my heavens. Oh my God. Oh, jeez. I completely forgot. I completely forgot about my poise swinging lessons. I totally forgot about my poise swinging lessons. Oh man. I completely forgot about my poise swinging lessons. And so should you.